Yo, hello everybody and welcome to episode 4 of my Let's Play series of Satisfactory. In the last episode we built up this production line where we are producing reinforced iron plates, rotors, and these were combined again into smart platings. But at the moment I decided to turn down this last assembler since we already produced over 70 smart platings, and for completing the first phase we only need 50 for now, and it will be more important to progress in the game with the items, rotors and reinforced iron plates. We will need quite a few of those, so let me just pick up these really quick. And I also am gonna pick up the 50 smart platings before I forget it. Yeah, in between episodes I prepared some biofuel again, so we won't run out of biofuel during the episode, and that's basically it. Yeah, oh yeah, I fixed some minor issues as well. In the last episode I said that I have an excess of 5 iron rods on this production site, and I was wrong because yeah, I miscounted or I miscalculated, and the excess is actually 15 rods, which is exactly one constructor. So I'm feeding one straight into a container and these are getting backed up because we are needing we need 40 rods for the 160 screws and 20 for the rotors. So let me just double check so I'm not wrong again or I miscalculated again. No, these are 15, 30 and 2 times 5, and 1 times 5 plus 15 again is 20. And yeah, so this one is over. Yes, this is fixed, and as well I did some underclocking at the concrete line because yeah, when I put this up we didn't have access to overclocking yet, and I set both of the constructors to 66%, so they are running smoothly, and I wanted to turn down, or I wanted to reduce the flickering of the power a little bit more, or as much as possible. And yes, that's basically it. So for today I prepared a to-do list again, and first of all I want to complete the tier 2, which is basically only 1 or 2 remaining milestones. And even if we don't have enough rotors for the jump pads yet, because I just turned down the assembler for the smart platings and I don't know if enough rotors got backed up already, but yeah, even if it's not the case, it's not really that important. I will skip the last milestone then and wait. Maybe we can complete it then in the later phase of this episode, in a later stage, because yeah, in the meantime, the rotors will continue getting produced. Then we will build the space elevator, and I actually have to pick up some more wire for that, I think. Which then again lets us feed the smart platings into the elevator, and this will complete phase 1. If we finish all the remaining milestones of tier 1 and 2, there's nothing really else left to do in order to progress in this game. So yeah, then we will finally build up the space elevator. And also what I want to do today, before I progress further in the phase 2, I want to build up production sites for the remaining, we build up the codex for the remaining parts which we are not producing automatically yet, which is especially the copper sheet and the modular frames. I already worked out some planning how I'm going to set this up. I'm not worrying about the silica and quartz crystal just yet because I don't have a real need for this at the moment. But as soon as we unlock the phase 2, the modular frames and the copper sheet will get very, very important. And last but not least, this is, yeah, I wrote this down at the very end, but it's not that important when we are going to do this. And since I'm already very close by, during roaming around the desert I found another crash site, which is right around here. And if I remember correctly, this does not even require any maintenance, so we just can pick up the hard drive in there, put it into the, yes, put it into the MAM, wait 10 minutes and then look out for another alternate recipe. Let's see what's lying around here. Modular frames, some motors, okay, this will come in maybe handy.
You are so lucky that you found this most
More
valuable
reinforced
artifact.
plates, modular frames, and somewhere around here is an artifact again. I don't know whether or not I'm gonna worry about it. I'm not. But instead, let's just run back.
Harvest.
These artifacts would not be work in progress, but eventually useful for anything. I would maybe pick them up, or I would definitely pick them up if they were useful, but yeah, since there's no need for them, I don't want to bother too much. So I will ignore them when I can. Of course, when I'm building somewhere and there's an artifact close by and there's always this background voice, of course I will pick them up because it will be getting very annoying, as I mentioned in the last episode, where I was at the very right edge of the desert, and yeah, this got very annoying. But if it's not necessary, I won't pick them up. Another topic is that this week, a few days ago, the last episode was already recorded. The Coffee Stain Studios, the developers of this game, released a teaser for the next update, for update 8. And the content that they teased there was actually not that game related, but it was more general. It was more gaming performance and some very general stuff. I don't want to bother with the details because there are many different other content creators that cover this topic as a whole and can explain much better what's gonna be new in the update 8. But I think what I picked up for myself is the engine that the game is running on will be a new one, which will drastically increase the performance of this game. I think how lights working will be changed. This falls under the topic lumen, and also automotives will get updated, how they run in this game. Yeah, that's what I remember spontaneously. I don't know if I forgot anything, but yeah, these are some of the topics that got tackled in the first teaser. Let's put in the hard drive really quick, and then we can put everything in for the milestone logistics Mark II. And the current plates. Oh, missing some rods. And launch.
Milestone reached. Improved versions of conveyor belts and conveyor lifts are now accessible. To encourage additional verticality, conveyor poles now have a stackable variant.
Yes, this is Mark II unlocked. Some stackable conveyor poles, which are useful sometimes, quite often, and upgraded conveyor belts, which can transport double the resources. All that's left in the tier 2 is the spaceport, and we're actually missing just 2 rotors. I think I will craft them manually once the spaceport is back, but since this will take another 5 minutes, I'm gonna wait for now. Instead, let's take a look if we have enough resources for the space elevator. We do. And now we're gonna have to decide where to put it down. I think this ground is even enough. I could also think about putting down some foundations, but since this is just a temporary basis, I don't want to bother too much. Maybe I will just put it down with the computer available. And I really like this animation. And there we have the space elevator. First thing on the to-do list is done. And then we can take a look. Yes, space project part number 1 is the smart plating. We require 50 in order to complete phase 1, which is now shown at the top right as well. And yeah, if there was a conveyor belt which would feed the requested project part automatically, the progress would be visible at the top right as well, so how many of these space parts are already delivered. But we're gonna feed them in all at once since they are not that many. And if we seal and send them, we will complete phase 1 and unlock tier 3 and 4. Have fun with the platings. Yes, okay, we already see what's required for phase 2, which is 500 smart platings, so 10 times the amount. 500 of another item. I know what they're called, but I want to show you. Oh, I cannot... Yeah. The recipes are not available yet, we have to unlock them during tier 3 and tier 4, but one is called the versatile framework and the other should be automated wiring. Yes, automated wiring in tier 4 actually. And I think, yeah, in tier 4 we have to do quite some stuff in tier 3 before we can address tier 4. As you can see, we will at some point get access to an increased version of a miner, which basically doubled the resources that we get out of any node. But yeah, there are some requirements in the tier 3 before we can build up that anyway, so let's go for one thing after another. Because, as I mentioned a little bit a while ago, I think it was in episode 2 or in the last one even, my first big step is to get automated energy, and we can actually achieve that by completing the first milestone in tier 3. And I think I will address this maybe even before, it doesn't really matter, since I will, yeah, build this stuff in the next episode, because first things first, this requires, I think, both modular frames and copper sheet, and we don't have either automated yet, but we will need quite an amount of them. So yeah, in between episodes I will build some of them so we can, yeah, start building up our first coal power plant. But the spaceport is back already, so I will indeed simply craft 2 more rotors manually, feed everything in again, and launch it right back into the sky.
Milestone reached. Several buildings aimed at factory traversal can now be accessed in the build menu. Caution is recommended during use of these products.
Yes, now we have a jump pad if we need to accelerate vertical, let's call it that way. And then also if we jump down somewhere, the U-jelly landing pad. I've never actually built this once because, yeah, as I said, I barely used the jump pads anyways, and the blade runners are covering a lot of the fall damage anyways. And when you really jump off big heights, then at later stage there will be other equipment which will cover this issue as well. Okay. We completed tier 2 and phase 1 already. Next up is building up a copper sheet factory, and I decided that I would, I wanted to add a marker for the production side for, of the iron parts, rotors, frames and smart platings, so I always know where to go exactly. I can for now follow the power line, but it's still nice to have an overview on the map as well. But let me just double check if I still have every item. Just make sure to have plenty of each. How much concrete? More than enough. How much wiring? Enough. Cable should be good as well. Yes. Okay. Do I have a mobile miner? Nope. Let me just build one of them, and then I will check how long the hard drive still takes for the research before I run away again. One is enough for the start, for the copper sheet at least. 45 seconds, okay. Then I will build a second one in between for the iron as well. And I think the iron plant is somewhere around here, the factory site. And the 2 additional production lines will get added in between, close to the smart platings and stuff, but still in between where we are right now and our current production site. Because there is a normal copper node, which is perfectly fine for our copper needs, for copper sheet needs at the moment. And there's also a pure node of iron, which will cover modular frames. The modular frames will be crafted out of reinforced iron plates and the iron rods. And I was thinking about, since I produce 5 reinforced iron plates per minute already, and we have an excess of 15 rods, that I could simply put these together at the already existing plants. But when I still want to build up the smart plating in the background, I won't produce any reinforced plates itself, because they will simply get further reused for other stuff. And yeah, I also need very many iron plates as well as rotors. For example, for the next milestone of coal power we need 150 reinforced iron plates, and for the Mark II conveyor belts they use reinforced iron plates as well, so there's no sense in not letting anything left but producing everything further. So I will build up an additional factory line which produces reinforced iron plates again, and these will then again get crafted further into modular frames in this case. Oh wow! Oh wow! The middle one again is not interesting, but what's left and what's right is crazy. Because, yeah, the bolted iron plate is triple the amount of the standard recipe, And the cost of this is simply you put in 4 times the amount of the screws. So yeah, basically 60 screws is the 60? Maybe 70, but something around this is the additional cost for the triple output, because the standard recipe consumes 60 60 screws per minute and 30 iron plates per minute in order to craft 5 reinforced iron plates, and we get here triple the amount of iron plates, 4 times the amount of screws into triple the amount of reinforced iron plates per minute. And on the right side we have cast screws, which directly converts iron ingots into screws, which does not only cut the transfer step of first producing iron rods, which then again get converted into screws, but also the amount is a little bit increased. I think the input is the same, the ratio is the same of input and output, but this will save a lot of logistics, not only for the very basic output or for the screws itself, but also further down the line for further production sites. And another thing is we just unlocked the Mark II logistics, which can transport 120 items per minute. But I don't think... Oh yeah, we will eventually uncover the Mark III, which then again can transport up to 270 resources per minute, but only then we will be able to insert enough screws in order to let this alternate recipe run at 100% efficiency. And I think this will take quite a while until we complete all the tier 3 and tier 4, since yeah, we need first to tackle steel production, which is the end of, or which is in tier 3. Here we need the modular frame. So I think for now, and I then have to replan what I want to do for the modular frames. Do I? Wait. No, I don't, but maybe I can simplify the production site that I already set up, because this cuts out the rods there completely, and maybe, yeah, I think I will take this one for now, because this is huge. This is very, very huge for slimming down processes. The alternate recipe for the reinforced iron plates still is also big, especially for further production of even more complex stuff later, but the screws are just so useful already, so yeah, I have to take these. But this also completes the research hard drive, and then now we finally can... Wait, can I... No. I think that's all the milestones I can cover for now, but I have all the necessary goods, which is good. And then we can go on for building. I don't have to change anything for the copper sheet. This will stay standard for quite a while, but yeah. I think I'm gonna actually take some time and see if I can slim down the factory plant for the 3 items that we are already producing. But first, let's get the copper sheet running. And we start first things first with the miner. In which direction do I want to build? I think I want to go this way. Yeah, and different to the last production site, which was already a little bit more complex. It was not crazy, but yeah, it took some preparation. The copper sheet is very straightforward. We extract 60 copper ore, which gets divided. I just realized I still have not changed the conveyor belts. Let me just fix this so I can finally, yeah, let this run completely. Wow, there are already 100 plates. And yeah, I want to get the factory of the rotors up to 100%. We can simply upgrade by hovering with a Mark II belt over here. And this should take this up to maximum efficiency. Since we are only at the producing 75 iron ingots, this will clear out the backed up smelters eventually, and then will run completely smoothly. And the second belt that has to be fixed is this one. And this backup should be clear soon as well. I think there is no backup actually, because the iron ingots were insufficient as well. And there were, yeah, I think the rods are not, yeah, they are below 100% efficiency, but they will go up to full efficiency eventually. And so will, yeah, so will the rotor assembly. There's already some backup here as well. Wow, we can, once we are done with the copper sheeting, we can complete coal power milestone already. But yeah, let's also get this up and running. Where's the center? Put it here and align it. And these get 30 copper ore each and smelt it down. By the way, I hope you already noticed, but in between the last and this episode, I took quite a while for some research regarding audio recording and filtering out unnecessary or unwanted voices again, unwanted noises again, excuse me. And yeah, I hope there is some improvement noticeable, but yeah, if there's still something not quite the way it should be, or if you know how what I could do better, then I would greatly appreciate any feedback regarding this, because I'm still new to this. I'm always trying to improve, I'm always trying to learn, but I hope it's noticeable already. Okay, we are producing. It's barely fitting. We just put these one step further, or start with the splitters even. Since each constructor takes in 20 ingots, but we are producing 60. Quick math. Need 3 constructors. Is this in line, or was it no? Copper sheet, and copper sheet. And in between we put a merger. I could do some more advanced logistics by, yeah, taking all the 3 outputs, merging 2 again, so I have 20 running all the time, because now it's splitting up equally between two. So here we'll get this constructor will get 30 at the start, 30 ingots, but because it only needs 20, it will back up eventually, fill up, and then the remaining overflow will run into the other constructors anyways. So the 15 will eventually correct into 60. And all that's left is to put down a merger. I still have not adjusted my hotkey bar. I always wanted to, because I think it's more optimal to adjust the hotkey bar and holding Alt and putting all the different types of items that you need. For example, one hotkey bar for logistics, one for power, one for, I don't know, fluids, which we will see very soon as we unlock these coal generators. But yeah, I started to get used to using the construction custom builder menu, and I yeah, basically inherited the habit, and now it's really hard to get rid of this again, if I want to get rid of it even. But yeah, I have to maybe start just using the hotkey bars and getting used to it, and just forcing myself to get a new habit. Can quickly put down the power for this. I think there's no cut needed since this goes very fast. And I always try to aim to have as short wires as possible. Yeah, power lines. Which is why I try to jumping too far. Which is why I try to put down power poles as close to the connection points as possible, so it looks a little bit more clean. Okay, all that's left is hook this up. We have the miner, the 2 smelters, and the 3 constructors. And that's everything that's needed for copper sheets already. The whole consumption is 25. Do we cover this with our current power output? The max consumption is 192. So we don't. But the assembler for the smart plating is out. And I think if I would cut this out of the power grid, the max consumption would turn down. Yeah, I will start the copper sheet for now in this without increasing the power output. But as soon as I put down the modular frames, I either have to increase the biomass burner plant again, or I have to build up the power coal generators already, because yeah, then our power output will increase drastically. Okay, sorry. Let us just double check. Good that I checked. I forgot to connect this. This is actually too close, and the bend. Oh wow. Yeah, this is the thing with putting down foundations at the power node, since the miner has to snap exactly on the node. It's not fully on the grid of the foundations, so this line will That will be straight very, very rarely, so yeah. I almost forgot actually get this running, but now it should be fine. There go the first ingots, and I think 3 will get converted into 2. And there goes our first copper sheet. Since the maximum output here is 30, no need for improving the or upgrading the conveyor belts. Yes, and there we have it. This will run in the background as well. Done already. Okay, this goes faster than expected. What I will do next is pick up the reinforced iron plates as well as the rotors. And this should be 55%, 100% efficiency now. Not quite, but it is increasing. This is going idle. Is something... Did I forget something? Did I forget something? So 30, 60, 90, 120, 75. Getting fed in here. This is backed up. Maybe they take some time. This is getting backed up already, but it should run manifold, so these should never go above 53 now. 100%. I think these were 78 just now. Forty. Maybe it's helping if I just let them back up a little bit more. Lets me use these in order to fill up the whole input. And I think I don't have an error. I'm crazy. It's 5 times, or it's 4 times 15, which is 60, 40, 20. I don't see it. I don't get it. Maybe this was consuming too much. No, it should be exactly 20. Let's just see if this will be efficient. I will check in between episodes, and if it's still not on 100% efficiency, I will hunt down the reason behind this. Okay. That's everything here for now. I don't need this. How many rotors? 80. Yes, so we already have enough items for unlocking coal power. So we can take a look. First look of this before tackling the modular frames. So let me run back to the bases. Okay, and here we are back at the bases. It's already nighttime because I decided to make a cut when I arrived here. Grab a coffee and also do some calculations regarding the planning. Because I said earlier that the new alternate recipe for the screws that we got is not affecting the plan for the modular frames. But this is wrong apparently, because the modular frames requires reinforced iron plate, which is in fact produced out of screws. So yeah, I actually had to think about my setup again, which I did, and I have a plan now. Plan B basically. Oh, this is backing up. Nice. I also refilled the biomass burners in between because, yeah, since we are almost tipping our limit of the current power line, they are running out of fuel quite fast, a lot faster than the last few episodes. So I refilled them and we should be good for another while. But maybe, if we have time left for this episode, I will set up a temporary coal generator in order to help out with the power demand. But first, let's unlock the coal power itself.
Milestone reached. Coal is an improved alternative power source to biomass and can be fully automated if provided water with the new pipeline buildings and power throughout the initial setup. Coal has been added to the resource scanner. Note: ensure the close proximity of water to the coal production line. Note: pumps will aid in vertical transport of fluids through pipes. Note: throughput and volume indicators are added to each pipe section automatically.
Yes, this is a coal generator. Quite a big building. And it needs coal as well as water for input, because it burns the coal and then converts the water into steam, which is then converted into power. And it puts 75 megawatts out, which is quite a lot, and also fully automated. And also we unlocked a water extractor, which we cannot put down here. It has to put down in a water resource which is deep enough, as it's saying. Yeah, need to place this on deep water. And for this we need the copper sheet. We actually might be able to put down a coal generator or two already. Maybe I will do this temporarily. Indeed. 1, 2. And 1. If we put up some cables and stuff, and cables are here. And some copper sheets, which we just prepared and which are getting produced. We in fact could put down one coal generator, which then again supports the biomass burner plant if we simply feed the coal generator to the, our current power grid. And I think I really want to do that because, yeah, as I said, it's automated and it's throttling down the biomass burners if they do not have to produce that much energy anymore. So yeah, I think I'm really gonna do that. Do I have something for the miner? Yes, so I can feed in some coal. Let me check then. Where is the closest coal to a sufficient water resource? Since there is a river here, but it's not steep enough, we cannot put down a water extractor here. The resource is not deep enough. Yeah, so we don't set up a coal power plant yet. Oh, I already passed the copper sheets, excuses. But I can already showcase how coal generators work. And in the next episode we can build up a definite power plant, which will, yeah, let our power output scale up or skyrocket. I don't know however you want to say it. Yeah, I simply want to find a place for the water extractor, but I think there's no place at the river where I can put this down. This looks a lot deeper though. It's also a power slug. Which I might use for the coal generators, but I will explain this when the time has come. Okay, we can put down a water extractor here. Now where is the closest coal resource? It doesn't matter. I don't know if there's a place here where we can put down a coal generator. As I said, it's only temporarily, so I think I'm gonna put down one here. And feed hand fists, yeah, put everything in very rudimentarily, as long as it's running. This is basically what counts for me for the start. Let's just put one down here. Place down a water extractor, which requires power itself, but this is no problem. So yeah, since the water extractor is necessary and needs power itself, the gross output is actually 75 if you want to count it as a self-feeding system. Yeah, once I arrive with the coal, I might have to redirect this, but this is fine for now. Yeah, but one water extractor is enough for more than 2 coal generators, and one water extractor requires 20 megawatts of power. So it's yeah, basically less than 10 megawatts of power of maintenance in order to keep one coal generator running. So the net output is somewhere around 65, 66 or 69 megawatts. So let's quickly run to a coal node. Okay, I decided to cut the boring stuff out. Basically, I rearranged the coal generator really quick, but I will show you in a minute, and I dragged the conveyor belt all the way through the desert to the coal generator and the water extractor. And then I came back and pulled the power line up to this miner, which we will then yeah, feed into here. This actually just needs to put out 15 coal per minute, so we can save on some energy for the start, since the biomass burners are tipping on the edge. They are barely covering the power demand. And yeah, this will take quite a while, but I will just run across this and use the momentum that you get on running, while running on the conveyor belt, in order to even move faster. Yeah, as you can see, oh, there's a little bit of clipping. Just for good measurement, let's go this way. And yeah, now we are passing our iron plant. And although I have the modular frames still on the to-do list, I decided to prioritize the coal power, since I really want to get rid of the biomass burners as soon as possible. And since we are able to already, yeah, I simply want to handle this power issue and get it automated ASAP. Now, I want to add the water extractor already, so this pipe can fill up with water before the coal arrives, and the coal generator will run smoothly. But can the power grid ever actually cover this before the coal generator starts to work? Let me double check. Okay, our current consumption is 187. We have a capacity of 210, so we have more than 20 to spare, which is more than we need. So let's hook it up and watch the water extractor come to life. You can see it has a little propeller thing under the water level, and yeah, I scaled it down a little bit. We need 45 cubed meters of water. No, we need 50. No, we need 45, sorry, I misread. We need 45, and I, yeah, targeted production rate at 50, so we have a little bit of excess, so this will stutter a little bit once it will back up, but yeah, I can adjust as soon as everything is running full. But yeah, my priority is to fill up this generator completely before I adjust the water extraction to the actual output. This is taking forever, Jesus. But it is a long distance. Yeah, I think this is full already now. No, not really, not yet, but I still can already adjust this to 45 for now in order to save more power. Yeah. Saved about a megawatt. Not that big of a deal, but I do want to run at maximum efficiency. Is this stuck somewhere on the way, or what's happening? Cannot do the cancel. No, there it is coming. It's just taking forever. Oh man. Okay, we finally arrived. Almost, at least. Actually, let me pick up the first few. And once the first coal reaches the generator, I will put in a handful of coal manually, so there will be no stuttering, since I set the miner on exactly 15 as a manifold. But yeah, in order to let it run smoothly from the beginning, I will put in 5 additional, so there's always a very, very tiny backup. I didn't stop the time, but I think this took around 10 minutes, this little journey. But then again, I think, if I'm not mistaken, a Mark 1 covers 60 meters per minute, and the node is almost 600 meters away, so it makes sense, but I did not expect it to take this long still. Nevertheless, there it goes, and what a jump it is. So as you can see, the only thing that changed of the production is the water extractor, which is now up and running again since we are starting to consume the water. But other than that, the production stayed the same. So the generator increased the capacity of exactly 75 megawatts, but it took over some of the biomass burners, so we are burning less biofuel now, which is basically the goal that I had in mind with this setup. Yeah, and at latest in the next episode I want to set up a permanent coal generator plant site, so that I don't have to worry about, yeah, chopping down trees and crafting biofuel and feeding power generators manually ever again in this series. I see a glance of a power slug in the very distance, and I think we actually will use these for our coal generators, since I don't know if I already covered this topic, but overclocking and underclocking, I think I said it, does not change the power consumption of machines linear, but exponentially. So if you double the producing target of a machine, the power requirement does not get doubled, but it gets even higher. For example, yeah, if we want to put out 60 iron ingots of one smelter, we don't need 8 megawatts, but we need somewhere around 10 or so. There's an exact formula behind this, but I didn't bother to look up the exact amounts. And this works vice versa also with underclocking. So if we halve the amount to 15, we go below 2 megawatts. It's 1.6 actually. And it works vice versa. So yeah, if you want to, you can figure out the formula with this yourself, or the multiplier behind this. But yeah, this is basically it. Well, we are here already. Let me see. Yes, it's running at 100% efficiency now. That is very nice to see. Yeah. How many rotors do we have now? Let me just pick up some. And some plates. Nice. Producing plenty of them. Okay. Let me think for a second. I think I'm gonna end this one here. We did not finish the modular frames side, but we did open up our way to coal power. And I'm actually very happy that this is accessible in this game very early. Yeah, since the start of my first run through this game lies a little bit in the past. I did not remember the exact progress line. But also, as a beginner, I think I made some very big mistakes and did not progress this linear. But yeah, things are running smoothly all in all, at least in my opinion. But I think that's gonna be it. What I will do before starting the next episode is I will actually rework this line in order to cut out the unnecessary constructors for the rods. Since we now have the recipe to convert ingots directly into screws, you can actually save some power, because almost 3 constructors are only there for building the screws or the rods, which are then again get converted. And yeah, I think we also can underclock one of these 4, because the alternate recipe puts out 50 instead of 40 screws. So I think there's already some sorry, I got lost in my thought process again. Yeah, there's already some potential in here to save some energy, to save some resources, and to slim down the production process. But yeah, I will do this in between episodes and show you the result at the start of the next one. And also I will lay out the foundation for the modular frame production side, so we can start with this one in the next episode right away. I think the demand of this will be quite high as well, so the sooner this runs the better. And then the to-dos for the next episode will be the modular frames, finally. And I think before we hook them up, I don't know, yeah, I will look up our potential power output and if the power can be covered of the additional plant before implementing a coal generator site, which is the second topic for the next episode. So yeah, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any feedback, any constructive criticism, anything that I missed, that I can do better, that I can improve on, please let me know. I would really appreciate it. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.